Welcome back, everybody. This is Ryan with the Rhino Ranch. Ooh, easy, Snickers. Easy. Ooh. Boy, she's kind of scared. Today, we are making nesting boxes for our rabbits. I've got 2 nesting boxes that I need to make. Snickers is actually not one of our bunnies that's going to be having babies, but we've got, I think, 8 bunnies expecting in towards the end of next week. 4. Okay, they're telling me 4 bunnies expecting in the end of next week. And we're short 2 boxes. So we're going to cut out the pieces, screw them together. Wish Bo was here so that he could help me out putting these together. I know he's going to be disappointed. But maybe we'll get him on the next woodworking project. She found my sweater string. I don't actually care for. Ow! She's biting my belly. Ow! I don't actually care for these bunnies all that much, but somebody asked me to make nesting boxes for them, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm starting out cutting the side pieces. I wasn't thinking during the filming, and of course I've got a big box of screws. I was using that to hold down the pieces of wood, but there's a little bit of an angle cut, and then the sides go up. I think right here I'm cutting the top and the front. We're screwing everything together. The bottom of these nesting boxes is open so that matter or material can fall through that needs to. That way, when these babies are born, the afterbirth and rabbit pellets and rabbit pee isn't just sitting in a box for them to nest in. this step of the video, I'm screwing on the top plate or the top piece. It is important to have a top piece, from what I understand, to keep the moms from being able to crush or step on the baby bunnies. Instead of just being able to jump right into the nesting box, they can only jump in the front part, and the babies are usually hanging out in the back of the box. So they'll have to make their way towards her when she gets in the box with them for feeding time. This part of the video, I'm screwing in the wire mesh, or the galvanized wire mesh. It's important to use something that's not going to rust, because that rabbit pee or rabbit urine it rusts things out really easy. Also, you want something that's got holes enough, that's big enough for rabbit pellets to drop through. Eventually, you will get a collection of those in there. If not, I think earlier in the video I called this cheesecloth. I've heard it called that before, but galvanized wire mesh is what you want to look for. You can get that at any Home Depot or Lowe's or hardware store. I don't think that I mentioned, when I was cutting these pieces out, you can find a template for these nesting boxes pretty much anywhere online. You can just print out on paper and then trace your side, back, front, and top piece onto whatever type of board you're using. You don't want to use a treated piece of board, or because your rabbits will chew on the wood. So no treated, no paint, no stain, just a plain piece of either lumber, or this is like a plywood material. One of my last steps is to use my Dremel tool with the cutting wheel or grinding wheel attachment to go along and trim up the edges of this box from cutting the wire off of it. These Dremel tools are pretty handy. You could use a cordless or a corded one. Also, not having a Dremel tool would work too. You just need some type of wire snips. Alright, so guys, this is the nesting, I think it's called a nesting box for the bunnies. Not sure if you call that cheesecloth. I think it's called cheesecloth, so that droppings and fluid can go through the bottom. But yeah, I need to make one more of these. All it took, of course you saw me there at the end, cordless Dremel tool with a cutting wheel, a drill or an impact wrench, and I just used screws that we had laying around. I don't have a whole lot of room here because we're in the middle of remodeling the house. But yeah, thank goodness we only have 4 bunnies instead of 8. That would have been wild. But this is it. This is how you make a bunny nesting box. We could have anywhere, well, Snickers had 7 in that litter. Only one survived. So I guess 4 bunnies could have 7 baby bunnies. The average is 4. Okay. But yeah, that's it for this. little video on Rhino Ranch. Thanks for watching, and life's pretty good on the Rhino Ranch. We'll see you next time. Thanks.